Hello students, good morning. Today we are going to begin the second part of the lesson, that is a synopsis, a summary, the Swiss family Robinson. In the previous lecture, I have explained you how the father teaches his children, how to make use of the resources. They reach in an island and they build a tent. They prepare a tent and stay for their few days. After some days, Elizabeth requests William to shift to some other place to keep themselves safe from the jackals. And they search such a tree which was very huge, and by teaching the geographical figure measurement, they prepare a place to settle. Now let us see what will happen in the part 2. Before we continue the lesson, let us go through the meanings. Synopsis means summary, exuding, giving out, abutting, having common boundary, oppressive, distressing, albatross, a large long-winged seabird, stranded, left alone helpless, vicinity, close to the area, driftwood means pieces of wood, dimension, measurement in geometry, exploring, in search of. Now let us see. He measured a defined distance from the trunk. They found a trunk now. They found a huge tree. And father, he measured a distance, a defined distance from the trunk. This shows the geometrical knowledge. Then he calculated angles, again the geometrical figure angles, okay, using several measure rods, determining that the lowest branch was 30 feet off the ground. Now here, by measuring the trunk, measuring the total uses of the tree trunk, father was explaining to his son about the different geometrical figures. They want to make a proper house to stay on the top of the tree. The men knotted a rope at certain intervals and attached pieces of bamboo in each knot. Now here they have given an explanation how they are preparing. They had prepared a place to settle. So the men means here the father knotted a rope. Knot means put a knot at certain places and attached the pieces of bamboo in each knot. Thus they created a ladder. Now how they created a ladder? With the help of a bamboo, and at such intervals they attached the pieces of bamboo in each knot and prepared a ladder to climb the tree. Father returned to the beach and collected driftwood. Driftwood means pieces of wood, thinking it would be perfect to build a sledge. Sledge means all the pieces of wood in a level they put and tie where they could, like a boat, they can use that. It's not a boat, it's a plain sledge on runners rather than wheels. Later they used it to transport materials. Okay, you can see in the page number 7, you can see the drift, how they have made with the pieces of what you call the wood. And meanwhile, Elizabeth announced that the garden she had been tending was producing healthy plants. Now meanwhile, Elizabeth was thinking to have a garden over there and where she could produce healthy plants such as corn, melons, pumpkins and cucumbers were already growing. The next day, see, look at their plans. Even though they are in a remote place, in such an island, away from all the people, they're planning how to settle, how to make use of resources. The next day only the father and Fridge, the son, traveled to the woods. Woods means forest, exploring and finding such exotic plants as one with waxy fruit. Fridge and his father, they left to the wood in search of, exploring means in search of such plants, which gives out what you call the wax. They were in search of plants of with waxy fruit, from which with that wax they could prepare, they could made or they could make candles. Fridge discovered a tree exuding a rubbery soap. Fridge find at last they got a tree. Fridge found a tree which was rubbery sap, giving the what you call that liquid, like from the tree was giving out, from which his father claimed that they could make boots. Father had immediately got a plan. We can make this rubbery sap, that the skin of the tree, rubbery sap, and we can make use of boots. Thinking ahead of the next winter, father decided to create a place safe from the elements, a strong storage spot to protect themselves and their belongings. Now he was thinking about the winter, how to protect from the winter. So he was thinking what else could be done. Fridge came up with the idea of a cave. Now they want to protect from the winter season. Immediately Fridge got an idea that why don't they live in a cave. Not finding one, they thought of carving out their own cave in the rock, abutting their camping site. Now to protect from the winter, Fridge got an idea, why don't we live in a cave? So dad says we don't want the cave already existing, that we don't want. We want to make a cave, carving the stone, the rock. And they want to have a camping site. On the smooth face of the rock, father marked the dimension. Dimension means measurement. A huge rock was there, and he found the smooth place on the rock and he marked the dimension. He wanted to make an opening, and they picked away at the hard surface with their axes. With the help of axes, opening they made, and they marked there the soft places of the rock used for an opening, and they picked away. The hard places were left like that way because they need an opening, and they tried to make a cave with the help of axes. They had not only axes, chisel, hammers and shovels. These are the tools. Over the next several days, the family cut windows in the rocks. Not only opening, windows they made. They need a ventilation. They need air, breeze. Rocks to allow for cross currents of air and for sunlight to enter the cave. They need weather. They need what you call ventilation. Not only that, sunlight, and they need a protection for the winter. So they cut windows in the rocks to allow for cross currents of air and for sunlight to enter the cave. When they had finished, they had 4 rooms complete with the fireplace. Totally, they had 4 rooms complete, including fireplace. Fireplace is a place where the fire keeps on burning to keep themselves warm. They now had a next winter home. Now one home is over, now one more next winter home. The place where they want to stay on the tree, it is over. Then they want to have a cave for the winter. One day they found that one of the family's huts had been completely destroyed, and the cultivated fields around it had been trampled and ruined. There were huge footmarks everywhere. Father saw massive damage of trees as well as many huge footprints, which he identified as belonged to an elephant herd. One day they found one of the family's hut had been completely destroyed. The cultivated fields around it was ruined means destroyed, stamped, and there were huge footmarks of elephant. And the next morning the family began to design a new defense to discourage all wild animals from entering their cultivated lands. Next morning the family started to design to face how to protect themselves from all wild animals, not only themselves, to protect entering their animals to their cultivated lands. They've also finalized their ideas about the new residents. They were planning one after the another. They want to make use of resources rather than building a house on stilts, which the elephants could knock down easily. Stilts meant on the top of the tree, and elephants could easily knock down. They would use four strong trees growing in a square near one another as the foundation. The trees were of equal size, approximately 12 feet apart. Thus, they built another safe home. Suppose if they stay only on the one tree, it's very easy for the elephants, the herd of elephants, to knock down it. Therefore, they chose four strong trees growing in a square near one another, and they had the foundation of the house. Foundation means on the top of the house, and they were trees were equal in size. It was 12 feet apart, and they got another safe house, safety for the from the wild animals, that is especially elephants. Dear students, here second part I have completed. Now in the next video we are going to study the remaining part of the lesson. I'm sure this much you have understood, and now in the next video we are going to study what was the consequence, how they made use of resources. We have studied, remaining we are going to study in the next video, and how they come in touch with the other group of people, and how they settled, how they showed their humanity to one another, how they build the relationship with other people. So till that, my dear students, I have given assignment here. Write the given meanings from the video and answer the textual questions, page number 6, 7 and 8. I have explained now page number 6, 7 and 8 half. Remaining we are going to do in the next video. Now you have to read the lesson when you solve the textual answers. Answers should be in your own words. Is it clear? I have given here less assignment so that you could get time for the completion of the